the red kind of bringing top and bottom together. This is a version that I really like, trying a square format. I want to walk you through a little bit of what I've been working on, my body of work for the last year or two. Yeah, a year or two. I've been actually working on the same painting for 2 years, but I have multiple versions that I want to show you. And it's been really interesting to realize exactly what is going into my creative process these days, and how everything has suddenly gotten weirdly connected. Let's take a look. Okay, so I started out with a couple of reference photos that I started working on last year. One from a trip to Ireland that I took in 2018, and I've been painting it consistently since 2018, 2019. So that's about 4 years of looking at this reference photo periodically and painting it multiple times. And then I took another photo here on my own yard, and somehow I see some connections between these two images. And it's been really intriguing to me that I've gotten to the point where it's actually really hard to distinguish between which of these two reference photos inspired the paintings I've been making lately. And then a couple of weeks ago, I started painting from this reference photo. And I started out painting it fairly literally. I did this one as my first version of the scene, and I had planned to add more to it, but I decided I really liked some of the beautiful textures that were happening here, so I decided not to paint the grass blades in this version. And one thing that's really freed me from trying to put everything into one painting is realizing that I can do this. I can say, I like the painting the way it is. I'll do another version where I spend more time in this area or put in those marks that I thought I wanted to put in. And so I took the time to paint another variation. And you can see this one has a lot more color down in the foreground. Then I did another version. I taught this actually as a class and walked my students through the painting process for this scene. And I did a variation where I emphasized mark making. That was really fun. Really love the seeking lines in this version. And then I just started kind of getting a little bit wild with the basic armature of this scene. That horizontal line to create the landscape, and then those foundational kind of darkest values, that hint of a hill, the sky, and then pulling everything together with a bit of the red kind of bringing top and bottom together. This is a version that I really like, trying a square format, same reference photo. And this one was wasn't supposed to be a painting, but I really, really like the way these simple marks just pulled something together with this beautiful sketchy energy. And I just keep trying variations on this scene. It starts to get a little bit difficult to tell which photograph inspired which painting. There's so much here that brings me back to that Irish landscape photo, to the dramatic sky of my summer photograph. And this one again is a little bit more literal to the original reference photo, but over and over again, I'm developing the scene and continuing to give myself permission to edit and make changes. And you can do that when you start to see your reference photo as no longer just that particular place in that particular moment, but you start to break it down. So I will do value studies of my reference material. I'll sketch it in pencil. I'll do a simplified line drawing. I'll do a no-tan, which is the black and white version. There's no grayscale. I'll make it really, really simple. And then I'll also do some studies that are just using actually invented landscapes where I've imagined a composition and thinking about how to apply that to a reference photo, and really to start to see my reference photos abstractly. And then I start to have a difficult time telling which reference photo inspired which painting, and I'm okay with that, because what is happening as I develop my paintings and experiment and give myself permission to make creative choices, I start to find freedom, and I start to create a body of work where every painting informs the one that comes next. And there is a unity and a flow. And I don't have to decide if one painting is better than the other. I simply get to keep looking and depicting different elements, different aspects of color, shape, line, value, playing with composition. And it's been really exciting. It can easily feel a little bit silly or unproductive to say that I've been working with the same reference material for the last several years. But when I see the way they teach each other how to paint more like me, how to paint more courageously, how to be inspired by just the raw material around me and use it to paint my way, it gets really exciting. And it's a body of work that I'm proud to share. It's interesting to think that I have new directions that I can take in my work. Even if I don't choose a new reference photo or a new scene, I can keep working with what I have, and it's different and new every time.